markets, they did end lower the last week as cracks appeared in one of the strongest pillars of the rally, that is artificial intelligence. Now, Nvidia's massive $100 billion partnership with OpenAI, that sparked doubts about the sustainability of AI-driven growth, cooling investor sentiment for AI-driven stocks. Now, if you take a look at the major, indices, the S&P 500 that slipped about 0.3%, which is its worst week since August 1st, and now it just sits at 0.8% below the record high levels. The NASDAQ, on the other hand, that dropped about 0.7%, also its weakest in nearly 2 months, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average, that was down about 0.2%, which was its first loss in 3 weeks. Now, if you take a look at some of the macro data, weekly jobless gains came in lower than expected, and second quarter GDP was revised up sharply to 3.8%. Now, stronger numbers did raise concerns that the Fed could delay rate cuts going forward, threatening one of the bull market's key strong supports. Now, all eyes are now on the September non-farm payrolls data that is due later this week, that is on Friday. Meanwhile, the street is hoping for a so-called Goldilocks number, not too strong to keep the Fed hawkish, but not too weak to signal a slowdown as well. Now, despite the pullback, markets are still on track for gains this month. The S&P 500 is up about 2.8%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, that has added about 1.5%, whereas the NASDAQ, that is leading the rally with nearly 3% of gains for the month. So that's how the U.S. markets are looking. That's the kind of handover we have received from the U.S. But what about the rest of the markets, Srishti?
Let's start with the crude and the gold oil prices, because crude on Friday we have seen that particular commodity on the surge on the back of Ukraine drone attacks on Russia. At one point in time, Brent crude was above that $70 per barrel mark, but for now it's trading and hovering around that $69 per barrel mark. So a bit of a movement over there. But when it comes to the gold prices as well, they continue to shine bright as the PCE data keeps the Fed cut beats alive, and along with that, just on Friday we have seen a bit of a surge, and as of now as well, it's trading above that 3,800 per ounce mark. So yes, of course, both the commodities are on the up move. But Kanishka, what about the Asian markets?